down there and take those little children by the hand and lead them into that school. Now, Joe Glazer immediately called Louis Armstrong in Fargo and said, you couldn't have said that, Louis. And he said to the press, Louis wouldn't say that. He didn't say that. And Louis said, yes, I did.
Armstrong caused a firestorm. A columnist for a New York paper demanded a boycott of his appearances. Concerts were canceled in the South. Only after Eisenhower took a stand did Armstrong apologize in a telegram that read,
if you decide to walk into schools with the little colored kids, take me along, Daddy. God bless you.
Yet by then, accusations of communists had mounted, and Louis's activities were secretly monitored by the FBI for the rest of his life.
Louis felt things much stronger than certainly Joe Glazer, his manager, even knew. And we thought, again, about the idea for Louis being the correct and the only person to do real ambassador.
A real spokesman for that time.
Remember who you are and what you represent. Always be a credit to your government. No matter what you say or what you do, the eyes of the world are watching you.
The oneness of man and the divisions of race being so stupid and unnecessary. But we tried to put it in a musical and light form that would draw people into it. And I think that Louis Armstrong epitomized everything that we wanted to say.
Could God be black, my God?
In the image of God created he man.
If I'm made in the image of thee,
Male and female created he then.
could thou perchance a zebra be?
Now, we had written that for a big laugh from the audience, but Louis delivered it almost in tears. And there's 5,000 people following him into a whole different emotion. And then I found, here's a side of Louis that I didn't know existed. And I don't think the audience really knew. They knew him for the person that was always full of joy and everything. But here he was so deep.
Oh Lord, please hear my plea. Oh, give me eyes to see.
Inexplicably, Armstrong's courageous stand in the late 50s was greeted with accusations of tauming. The trademark Satchmo grin was misinterpreted. The criticism and the relentless travel took a toll. In 1959, while playing in Spoleto, he suffered a heart attack.
Louis, I guess they were Italian. I guess that was the problem.
That's probably what it was. You couldn't read it right. They were saying I was feeling good and you thought I was dying or something. But I had a private nurse, came all the way from Rome. She spoke English and she could read them charts right, and, you know.
By the way, how's your Italian?
Huh?
How is your Italian?
Oh, very good. Pizza.
Are you going to be getting any good food now? You well enough for that?
Oh, we get the red beans and rice now, you know.
Well, I think Dr. Schiff said at one time that maybe you just blew yourself out for a while, didn't you, Doctor?
No, it ain't that. Sometime, you know, you just put a little grease on that Cadillac, it'll run another 500 miles.
Grab your hat, baby. Your worries down the doorstep. Just direct your feet on the sunny side of the
So far as Louis Armstrong's playing in his later years, he's come under a lot of false criticism. Those who don't really understand what he was playing, they want him to play with the same type of velocity. See, a lot of times we confuse velocity with technique. Velocity is just the ability to play fast or jump octaves or something. The highest level of technique is nuance. So when you really are a master of technique is when you don't have to play a pile of stuff and all of that is implied in what you play. And Louis Armstrong, in this later period, I will tell you that these solos are virtually impossible to learn. Because first, the nuance and the color of the tone is so refined and it's been worked on for so many years. The rhythmic sophistication is so much more advanced than the earlier recordings.
Louis had never spent much time at home, but in the early 60s, illness forced him to slow down just a little. He and Lucille often entertained. One evening, they threw a party for clarinetist Peanuts Hucko and his wife to celebrate their wedding anniversary. He was never more relaxed than when surrounded by his family of musicians, including Trummy Young, Barney Bigard, and Louis Russell, whose big band Armstrong had fronted in the 1930s.
'Cause I'm blue, turning gray, over, that
He was 62 years old, and although he continued circling the globe, his career now seemed locked at an impasse. Times had changed. A president had been shot. The Beatles invaded. It seemed inconceivable that Louis could have any more surprises in store. He continued to do what he'd always done, in his own style, on his own terms.
Now you have your thrills in view.
Armstrong remained a sensual man. He liked to eat. He smoked too much. He drank in moderation, but he continued to indulge his beloved herbs, pot, and a product called Swiss Chris.
We went to a big royal dinner with everybody there, Princess Alexandra, Kent, you know, the Duke, and all the royalty with rubies and emeralds and diamonds. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. And I was sitting next to Princess Alexandra, and he was on the other side of Princess Alexandra, who's a beautiful lady. And he was talking to her and myself every once in a while. But then at the end of the meal, when the dessert came, she turned around to me, she said, "Did you ever try this?" And I looked at it, and it was his commercial product that he always advertised, Swiss Chris. And of course, it's a laxative, and a very ferocious laxative. I didn't know, I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say. And the Duke of Kent said, "What is it, my dear?" So he said, he starts handing it out to the royalty of England. He says, "Get it out." He says, "It's good for you." He said, "You get it all out. Get it all out." Well, when they read the instructions that it was a laxative, I never saw, it was like a barrel of white monkeys. I mean, everybody just fell on the floor, pounding the floor. It's the funniest thing I've actually seen. It was funnier than any Laurel and Hardy scene.
Armstrong's habit of handing out thousands of dollars to friends and fans down on their luck may have made Joe Glaser all the more determined to see him record another big hit. Neither of them thought much of a new song Louis was asked to record one day in 1963. Louis thought it was pretty lame and put it out of mind when he went back on the road.
We were out somewhere in the wilds of Iowa and Nebraska doing some one-nighters, way out there, So every night the audience would be calling, "Hello, Dolly, hello, Dolly." So Louis he ignored it for the first couple of nights. Every night it started getting loud. "Hello, Dolly, hello, Dolly." So Louis asked Billy Cowell, said, "What's that, hello, Dolly?" So Billy said, "Hey, Pops, you remember that date we did in Chicago a few months ago? Well, one of the tunes is from a Broadway show. It's called Hello, Dolly. And the first time we put it in the concert, pandemonium broke out. So we were so far out in the woods, we didn't realize he had a hit record."
Well, hello.
Look who's here.
Dolly. This is Louis.
Hello, Louis.
Dolly.